Hey everyone, welcome back to 305 Insights, where today we're looking at Miguel's subject of the week. Another NFL-based one. Again, like we talked about earlier, really trying to churn out the NFL content. Busy season, draft coming up, lots to talk about. So we're going right back to the hometown team. So let Miguel take it away with that. That's all I'm going to spoil about the episode. Once again, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. You know the drill. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Here we go, folks. Enjoy this one. We'll catch you next time here.
All right, guys, let's go because we're gonna be talking about the good old subject of the Miami Dolphins.
Woo!
And how we love to talk about them and how they just make our lives just amazing and just have that positive outlook on football season with them.
I'm drunk.
Anyways, back to the topic here. I'm just gonna talk about with you guys and our fan base here on the overall opinions and I guess grading of how our offseason has gone in terms of free agent signings. And then on top of that, what route do you guys think the Dolphins should consider going into this year's coming draft and the possibilities of whether it's going to be a good pick, a pick in terms of what they're missing in terms of free agency, a pick in terms of the ceiling of what their future should be with their pick, and what it means with these very good bargain deals that they've made free agency wise. I'm going to ask my colleagues here, Eric and Alan, what they think in terms of the moves they have made in terms of the players, if it's going to go along right with how the Dolphins play as a team, whether that player is for defense or offense, how is it going to help them, and if it is going to help them now, or if it's just a smoke screen of whether they're going to do something with these signings or not. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it from here, Bob. So
His name's not Bob.
in the words of the great actor Idris Elba in The Wire, he said, and I quote, "I want you to put the word out there that we back up."
Oh, okay.
This is the most confident I've felt in the Dolphins offseason in a really long time. For this reason alone.
Go ahead.
So many times in the past 20 plus years, this franchise thinks it's the good thing to overpay players.
Which they did last year, by the way.
Rather than patching up a lot of holes. We saw it in the past with Ndamukong Suh. We saw it in the past with David Boston.
Cedric Wilson.
We've seen it in the past in various forms, right? Christian Wilkins.
Oh, steal of the
We
offseason.
did an amazing draft that year by getting him. If you want to argue the mistake that the Dolphins did by not re-signing him, it wasn't re-signing him this offseason. They should have re-signed him last offseason for $20 million, $22 million. Now he's going for, what is it, $27, $28 million?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, with all due respect to Christian Wilkins, he is not an all-pro player. And you're paying...
Jeez, hot take.
He's not. He's not. He's a Pro Bowler.
Ooh.
He's a almost great player.
Almost.
But they're paying him to be an elite defensive tackle. The Dolphins cannot afford that. Let's be realistic.
Okay. Whoa. Let's start backpedaling right here.
I haven't even finished talking, but go ahead.
You just said he is not a great player. Right?
No, I said he could be a great player, but they're paying him to be an elite player. That's what that's what Las Vegas.
Yeah.
The Raiders are paying him to be an elite defensive tackle.
So it's because we didn't cash in last year.
The Raiders do need him, though. because the Raiders defense.
Well, they're paying him for a reason.
Well, yeah, I think.
But I'm saying last year you could have got him for 22 million.
$5 million less.
Yes.
$7 million less.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think it was a great move for the Dolphins in terms of what you're saying, because they didn't franchise tag him. They didn't waste money on him on that.
No, but I'm saying that's the argument to me that you can make if you were never going to sign him this offseason.
If you didn't sign him last year, you weren't going to sign him.
Once we signed Steeler,
I agree.
Once we signed Steeler, we were not going to get Wilkins.
Yeah, I was like,
and again, I'm not throwing dirt or throwing shade at this guy or whatever. Wilkins is a good player. He's a good player. I will find you. No, he's a good player. But at $28 million, what he's getting,
I get
that's,
what you're talking.
Yeah, we weren't going to afford that, and B,
we lost the time frame to pay that guy.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on. All right.
Then you have Xavier Howard. You cut him. We're saving $18 million?
Yeah, that guy
post
broke
June
his
1st.
foot trying to cover a slant goal. He covered the slant.
And he wouldn't go to the distance.
He couldn't go to the distance.
To go to the IR, buddy.
Dude, I don't know who. I forgot what. Oh, it was actually a Ravens receiver, dude. He did his butt dirty.
Good catch.
Going off of what Alan said about being confident this year on the signings, and going off of what you just said about Howard, I think it was a great move in the aspect of getting rid of him. For the future, as Howard is 33, I think. 33 years old. Yes, he's a great player, but he's not the player that he was when we first started playing with the Dolphins. And we get probably the top cornerback on the market with Fuller, who I think it's a great signing. Fuller is
$8 million a year, I think.
A 2-year deal for somebody that is probably on the conversation.
Do you want the productivity?
Yes. Do you want X at 18 million, or do you want Fuller at 8.5 or whatever, $9 million?
So going with Alan said, these signings so far and looking at it on paper, these are very good signings for the bargain and for the price and also the years that they're being given. So I can agree with Alan. Like, I actually do agree with the fact of the confidence level that losing all these players that we care to love, as like fans, Wilkins, as fans, and we all know, like, it's hard to swallow this in terms of them leaving, but
chug away, brother.
That doesn't help. So we always say this is a business, and I think this is a very good direction in terms of business for the Dolphins.
Dolphins are standing on business.
And I don't know if you wanted to go further, Alan.
Yeah,
you want to go further on the fact of what we have in terms of patching up the holes, or do you want to pass it on to Eric and let him serenade us with?
I'll pass it to
his
Eric.
Biased
I'm not going to go too deep because I know I always rant on these podcasts. All I'm going to say is the reason why I was so confident is because, again, what I was trying to get at is, to shorten the story, the allocation of resources, the amount of talent that we've gotten back to fill certain holes, and for the value that we've gotten is incredible. And this is something I haven't seen out of the Dolphins in quite some time. Because remember, since said
they were in the playoffs.
Last year, what did we say about the team? That they're very top heavy, and we saw how I mean, we all agreed in that. I mean, let's be real.
I mean, this really creates the opposite of what you're saying.
There's
a sense of balance in terms of money.
Defensive wise, we weren't able to see what we had value is in the secondary or like backups because Vic has always had that.
That's the other factor as well.
Yeah, it's another factor that plays into it, which
But again, we had Chubb, Phillips, Wilkins, and then we had X, Jalen, and like once you lose 1, 2, 3, 4 of those guys, it's okay. What do we have? Now we have ideally, Miguel spoke about him in that one podcast, Cam Smith. You've got Jalen Ramsey. You've got Kendall Fuller. Who knows what they're going to get in the draft. We
got Needham back for a 2-year deal.
There you go.
Which he didn't gather himself very well last season.
Or it could have been on Vic.
So
could have been Vic's system that he didn't.
He could be a dark horse this coming season.
Never got it established.
Could be a dark horse.
I think.
And then you have Cater Kohu as well. I think
we can all agree that
we're overstepping on what the potential could be in a quarterback room for the Dolphins.
It wasn't just the young guys, but the old guys didn't like Vic. It's
Yeah,
almost
you
like
saw that Jalen Ramsey.
it's almost like
tweet?
unanimous that like
Saw that.
nobody was high on Vic Fangio,
He's an old guy.
which is weird because again, you could understand like either the veterans like someone and the rookies don't, or the rookies like him and the veteran like it's by every like the vast majority of the players were like, man, I wish we had. They basically implied I wish we had one more year because we're gonna have someone different. It doesn't matter if we're a year
isn't that
older.
the case though? Like I feel like that's got to be the case nowadays with the league evolving with these new coaches. As you can see, the head coaches, the league is evolving. So seeing Vic Fangio coming into like, yes, Vic Fangio has a precipitous. Is that the right word?
Oh wow! I've
Fall.
never heard of
No, I don't know.
I don't know, but that does sound right. He just had a very good track record of being this great defensive coordinator. But like I said, like the league is evolving. So would one young player or whether it's a veteran player want to be in a scheme that might have worked then and does it work now? Yes or no? I don't know.
But
But,
he
like
does,
about
so
percent- but
he does
that
have a
goes-
large coaching tree though,
but
but
that's-
it involves younger players.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, younger coaches.
So like, is it the way that the league is evolving that these players are just wanting something more spicy? Something more spicy in terms of that, like, damn, this is gonna actually help our defense.
I think the education of players understanding what their true values are is what's playing a bigger factor.
And I think that was Vic
I think they
Fangio's
have more
problem.
value now towards coaches because they're gonna be like, dude, you just got me on the IQ level, right? As a coach, you got me as an IQ level. I'm still young, I'm still learning. But when you got, let's say, a Jalen Ramsey that has seen everything and has been through everything, been through every situation, and you got Vic telling you maybe there's an ego check,
Yeah.
right? And Jalen's looking at Vic like, dude, chill out. I got a ring. What you got?
Wait,
Like,
And I think to your point too.
I don't think he has. I
No,
think
he
he's won a ring.
consulted, but like he's never.
But
he's been a coach,
you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like
because he's been in Jacksonville. He's
Yeah.
been through the highs and lows of Jacksonville. He went to LA.
yeah, dude,
won,
he's
now
been
to
through it.
Dol- Yeah,
He's been through it. So
Highs,
he's probably
lows,
looking at
everything.
Vic like, hey, dude, you're gonna look at me. You're gonna tell me to talk to me a certain way. Like, you need to have more respect for me because you know, I what I bring to the field is legit. You know, my play backs up my argument. To
my
anything.
stats speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So-
reputation, all that stuff.
all that stuff. But I will say that when we were talking about the Dolphins and we were going into the offseason, right? We have an episode. Make sure to tune in on that. It's very good. We talk about what Dolphins should be looking into going into the offseason. Great episode. Look into it.
Now that you say that, so what do you think about their offseason?
I did say that in that episode, the biggest thing that I would want to see the Dolphins do is look more of they need to reestablish their defense situation.
Do you think they did that with what they patched up in terms of the holes, losing Baker, losing Wilkins? So they got, I'm gonna name a few names here. Poyer, 33 years old, Poyer, but great signing by the way because he brings his toughness that he showed on the Bills. He brings a toughness that I think the Dolphins could actually use. Not bashing on Brandon Jones, not bashing on holy crap, his name
Rashad Jones.
No.
Oh my god.
No,
Yeah,
who's
remember
our star the other one?
Javon Holland.
Yeah, Javon Holland.
Snowman.
Poyer, you have Barrett from Tampa Bay.
That was great.
Brooks from Seattle. Brewer, not Brooks. Brooks,
Yeah,
Fuller,
Jordan Brooks.
and you have Ann Walker. Your thoughts on what you're speaking of in terms of their signings? Like, do you think these signings are up to par with what you're like? What your expectations are? Like, are you okay with these signings in terms of are they going in a route where like are they replacing these players and they're going to be better, or are they just replacing these players and like they're just going to be the same?
How about this? I'll tell you this much. I don't know if they're going to be better. We don't know that. We don't. But if, as a GM or let's say as a business owner, if I'm going to pay you a certain amount of money and that certain amount of money does not think to that you are at your full value because this is what the market's asking for you.
So you don't think these are bargain deals or value deals?
No. The point that I'm trying to get to is that we're in a situation that we sign these players that are willing to necessarily take an ego hit,
Right.
right? And say, I'm going to ball out so that in 2 years, either you're going to pay me what I'm worth or another team's going to pay me what I'm worth, is what I'm trying to say. And that's when you have a good formula. That's why I'm saying all these moves that they've made have been a financial success.
Yes.
Due to how much money we've put in the past offseason.
Well, we restructured a lot too as well.
Yeah, we did restructure a lot, but we got guys in there right now trying to prove themselves of the value that they're being paid. Because right now they're getting paid, and I guarantee you all those guys go, because all those names that you just said, those are very good caliber players.
They're good players, yeah.
Very good.
I agree.
They're in that third contract type of situation in their career that they got one. They probably maybe made the most money that they've made ever that they could make in their career.
And so what you're saying, and I actually like, is that what you're saying is that with these deals and with these players, I feel like the Dolphins will be better this year. Shockingly enough, I'm saying this, and it's because of what you just said, that they're on these bargain deals and they have to prove themselves, not only their money's worth or what they could possibly be worth to another team going forward, whether it's getting paid more or the same or whatever it is. So I can agree with you there, and I think it's what's going to make them better, because these players want to prove not only themselves but to other teams, like, hey, this is the money we got this year from the Dolphins, but hey, I'm balling out because I think I deserve this much.
It's the same narrative,
and I think it's great for the
Patriots
Dolphins.
did. The Patriots did it for many years. They get these guys that they're good, and we're going to get you for cheap because guess what, bro? You're not going to get any better. You come here, you prove yourself. You prove yourself for 2 years, we guarantee you that you're going to probably get more money somewhere else. That's what the Dolphins did this offseason. They made calculated decisions that saying that, hey, we're getting players that are gambling on themselves to try to get better.
And what's crazy is that a lot of people are saying that this was a bad offseason for the Dolphins.
Well, yeah, because
you know what? It's going to be a slap in the face.
Andrew Van Ginkel.
It's going to be a slap.
That one.
By the way,
that one sucked.
That one hurt a lot, but like he deserved to get paid what he's getting paid. Like he
got balled out,
but it wasn't something that we couldn't have afforded.
But that's a perfect example of what you're saying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but also too,
again, this was allocation of resources.
Yeah. Also, too, like you look at looking at the Dolphins going into the Dolphins season. I know that we're still get the draft and all that stuff. We're gonna go into the first month, maybe two, of our two DNs not playing.
But that's why you get someone like Shaq Barrett.
I wanted to actually talk to you guys about this. Now that you brought that up, Eric, thank you so much.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
I look at the signings of
happy you're here.
Are the plugins that we've signed, and then we're not including Bradley Chubb. We're not including
Jalen
Phillips on helping our this is
Ramsey for a whole year.
Deja vu all over again, because last season we had the same scenario where we didn't have Jalen Ramsey, we didn't have Nick Needham. So in retrospect, do we have a better defense? Will our defense get better with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb coming back? Which, by the way, we all were wrong about Bradley Chubb last season, because we were all down about Bradley Chubb
to get hurt.
We were all down about Bradley Chubb being a crapper and a shooter. And
he
came
took
out
about
of nowhere
10 whole games in terms of,
and he surprised us. He really did. He surprised us with his play.
One game at Clinton, we're like, oh, that's why we're paying him $100 million. Like, you could see why.
Yes,
because for the first 10 games,
for the first time he proved his money's worth.
Like, was it what did we get him? Like 4 games left in the season before or whatever, and the first 5-6 games of this season, like everything was almost like that Kiko Alonso thing, where Kiko would get that tackle after someone else tackled him, and he got credit for it.
Upside.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb was always this close to getting a sack, and it's like, we're paying you $27 million, but it's like the Kevin Nash longest yard. Like, you're good.
He's there.
I almost got you. Like, but then finally, the run stuff thing.
He proved us wrong. He really did. So in that aspect, him coming back with Jalen Phillips, me personally, I don't know about you guys, 'cause I'm going to ask you after I give my answer. I think in terms of last season and what the same scenario is, I think our defense will be that much better, especially with those two adding to the pass rush and how the pass rush was last season. I think will be a better defense going at least that year in terms of these bargain deals and how they'll help the defense
What did scare me about last year's defense is that our pass rush wasn't there
with a new coordinator too. By the way,
unless it was the fourth quarter. You know that that's when they needed a pass. I get it. Like, yes, we paid them for the fourth quarter, but like I would like that all 4 quarters. Like, do you understand where I'm trying to get at?
It really was weird that they played good defense on the second half all the time, every single game, when they should have played the whole game that way.
I think the best way to put it, and tell me if you guys agree, statistically, the defense may not be as good as it was last year, but I think the defense is going to be better next year because of this depth, because of with a lot of people that they signed. I won't say everybody, but with a good amount, like Fuller, captain. The safety,
Jordan Poyer,
captain. Like, and he already.
I love that signing.
And there was another person that they signed. They signed 2 other people, or one other person that was a captain as well.
Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett, captain. And I think someone else might have been.
And then you have Brooks from Seattle.
But you're seeing what they're bringing in, and you're seeing what they already have in Jalen Ramsey, and in Bradley Chubb, and even though he's young, Jalen Phillips. There's a lot of alphas, number ones, whatever you want to say, in this locker room. And with the new coordinator that they have.
Adding to your point, what I also see is they signed these players, and what the skill set that they have, what I see is tackling. And I think that was a big issue with the Dolphins. Like seeing a lot of their games, their tackling was an issue. And these players that they signed, Jordan Poyer, hard-hitting tackler. Barrett, historically known for having high tackles.
Kendall Fuller is always a sure tackle.
Brooks, sure tackler. He led the team, the Seahawks, as a team in tackles for the past couple seasons. So, to your point, in terms of them being better defense, I think they really helped themselves in the aspect of just having better tackling.
I would say they're more utilized, maybe. Like, you're looking at... Because, we talked about it. We just recently talked about it with, like, Vic. There's pushback. And, if you got Jalen Ramsey coming out saying what he felt about Vic, if you got a guy that has a well-established resume coming out and saying that he's giving pushback about Vic, maybe going into this year, you're looking at it as an opportunity that it's going to bring more as a unit, everybody coming together. So I do see that the defense probably plays a lot better in the aspect of the communication. They're not playing for a coach that thinks is full of, crap or, because for Jalen Ramsey, obviously Jalen Ramsey has always been a loudmouth, typical FSU player that comes out and says all these things that, the coaches suck or whatever. Just play ball. No. But it's overall looking at the example of Jalen Ramsey of how he communicated with Vic. And now we're going into a new season with all these young guys trying to prove themselves. They're going to be vulnerable to work with each other. So, yeah. I mean...
And I think we haven't even touched on like the offensive side of the ball for the offseason. But when we're talking about allocation of resources, I mean, we all saw how much Robert Hunt got from the Carolina Panthers. Like,
great signing, by the way, as a Carolina Panther fan. I think he'll help tremendously for...
They still have fans?
But, well, my God, do you remember that? Like, no, seriously, you remember those, like, pictures of, like, the game and how much the tickets were going for? Anyways, but $150 million, I think he's got, and it was, like, $60 million guaranteed. That's another person that we can't afford. No matter how good he was for us or how solid he was, we can't afford $60 million guaranteed for an inside guard. Armstead, thank God, restructured his contract. On
that topic, we did re-sign Isaiah Wynn, and we signed the guy from the Texans, Brewer, for a 3-year deal. And statistically he's really bad at.
That's not a good way to start.
It sucks saying it, but statistically he's not a good pass blocker, but he's a beast in the run blocking game, which is nice to know because we have a good running back room.
Wait, was that the center or whatever?
A-Chain and with yes.
You're talking about this? Oh, I know. Okay, yeah. I know
with
yeah, he's going off for pass blocking.
So there's a bit of concern there because we actually do want to give the we always want to feed the ball to Tyreek Hill and we want to stretch the field.
We're never going to run the ball.
We want to stretch the field.
Especially in the fourth quarter against Buffalo.
We want to stretch the field, so it is a very puzzling move signing that I kind of am iffy on. And real quick, I just want to know your take on we were talking about defense side of the ball, but now I'm gonna transition to the offensive side. And these two plugins, what is your thoughts on the route they're going? Like, so they get this guy center for a 3-year deal over O'Connor, who has a effed up knee, and he's not going to be signed this year because of his physical. But do you think this is good for the offense? Is this going to make a difference? And then with this move,
to me, we'll talk about it at another podcast. But to me, it makes the draft so much more exciting because I think we were dead set on getting the kid from Oregon as a center, and now we can actually have a fun draft in my eyes, where we might get a defensive tackle, we might get a cornerback, we might get like something different outside of an O lineman.
Well,
and I think
we need to go defensive route.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we'll get to that in a second. But that's why I like that signing because it opens up the opportunity to
hey, we're not pressured just to
I think
be obligated.
Once you saw that it was a 3-year deal, you can kind of feel that the Dolphins should not go the route of drafting offense as their first pick in the first round.
Tua, if you're our future, we don't need to talk about our offense.
Well,
we need to
also
make sure that we have a defense that's going to make sure that we're going to be able to protect the lead that you put up.
Was it you who said that he was working, or was it Eric? That's what he was working on.
So I was talking to Alan the other day that Tua wants to get better in terms of he wants to have more speed.
Boom, baby.
He wants to work on his agility.
Woo!
And I'm like, Alan, bro, there's no way Tua thinks that
he went one season without a concussion.
There's no way.
And now he thinks he's gonna.
I'm a mobile quarterback. Here we go. Ooh, oh.
There's no way he's gonna think that working on his agility.
All of a sudden, he's gonna fucking be Lamar. Oh, excuse me, but he's gonna be Lamar Jackson now.
Well,
this offseason, I learned how to do jiu-jitsu.
The Dolphins heard this rumor. The Dolphins heard this rumor, and they signed Jonnu Smith. All right, we're getting you a tight end. Okay. I think that's been their best.
No, but to your point, working on jiu-jitsu, it did help him. He went to
He didn't get concussed.
He shout out to the offensive line. He didn't get sacked as much as he did the year before.
Terrence Armstead.
So
it was agility.
Can we say on a
I want to see the
comical level that if he is saying that he wants to get better speed-wise, agility-wise, footwork-wise, will he? Oh, on top of that, he wants to lose weight as well.
Yeah, because that's how he's going to get faster.
He wants to lose weight.
He's going to lose weight and then get hurt again.
Yeah, guarantee you, there's gonna be a new off-season camp or new in-season campaign. He's gonna have a nice juke. It's gonna be the Tua shuffle.
Ooh.
It's gonna trend. It's gonna go viral. He's gonna juke someone out like Tom Brady did against Brian Urlacher about 15 years ago. That's what he's gonna do.
I do want to bring this up real quick before we end this. He's one of the few quarterbacks that I read upon that he's one of the few quarterbacks that does not have an actual QB coach. He's always had
my daddy.
He needs one.
He's always had
He needs some milk.
Strength and physical coach.
Oh shoot, yeah.
So, and apparently, quote unquote, Tua he's looking for a QB coach, or he has a QB coach in order to better himself and focus on these attributes that I've just previously stated. To actually have a QB coach in order to help him that much further to be better.
That's our $50 million man, baby.
Thoughts real quick. Your thoughts on his approach this offseason with possibly having a QB coach in his pocket and his thoughts on slimming down and getting faster.
Listen, whatever he does to try and get better, I'm all for it because he's about to sign a massive extension. So whatever, bless his heart, whatever helps him mentally, go for it.
Okay, so I want your grade on the signings for the Dolphins real quick offseason.
Not overall, I like it. I want to say B+ right now.
Eric,
B+.
grade on signings. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your opinions. This was great. Hit that follow button and listen to us rant about how good the Dolphins can be, but when they're not good at all.
We'll hold them accountable.